Okay. Hi, Ligia, and welcome back.
Thank you. Hi, Marie.
Hey. So, we're going to talk about something magical, fantastical, controversial today, and I'm really excited about it.
Me too.
So, you and I have had the idea of dragons come up to us lately quite a bit. And then eventually we decided that it was worth to have a conversation about this. And the more I did research before this conversation, the more I see how I understand why it's coming up for the both of us now. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I feel the same way. I feel like it has to do with where you are with your spiritual progression, let's call it.
Mm-hmm.
And the more you raise your frequency, the closer you feel to this
Mm-hmm.
kind of beings, being them dragons, angelic, guides,
Yeah.
everything, every being that exists in a higher dimension.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard dragons being described, and I believe it was Diana Cooper who was very much into, she's been talking about dragons for years, right? She was describing them as seraphims, the angels that are closest to God. And the difference between them and angels, the way we think about angels, is that angels work from the seventh dimension and up. So they're very ethereal while dragons work from the fourth dimension and up. So they're very much in creation with us. They work on creating worlds and they also work on destroying worlds, right? They have kind of this power of both creation and destruction. And what she talks about is that they've been around since the ancient Mu and Lemuria and
Yeah.
Atlantis. And the sun is coming in to emphasize that. You see that? How
Yeah,
crazy is that? I'm going
it's
to go like
awesome.
this. But that's amazing, right? The sun just started shining in my face as I was talking about these creatures.
Yeah.
So, anyway, so I just wanted to put that out there because to me, that just sounds so amazing. What a beautiful creature that is closest to God. It's an angel, but it also is so deeply in touch with our earth realm. It's actually part of that creation of our
Yeah.
earth. And I was like, wow, that's an interesting combination of abilities, right?
Yeah, exactly. And also what you mentioned, the power to both create and destruct. It's amazing the fact that uh, a being that has so much love and light and the power to create and destruct can also at the same time give you such a peaceful feeling. Because
Mhm.
when they are around, you can feel a mix between strength,
Mm.
but also there is always this loving frequency on the
Mhm.
background. So
Mhm.
I think it goes with what you just said. Like the angels, they work in higher frequencies, and they are also their vibration is a lot different. Because when you're working with dragons, they are very to the point. Let's say like
Yeah.
their energy
Right.
is like it is what it needs to be and
Mm.
trust it. And so that's why you can work also with them from lower frequencies because
Mhm.
their energy is easy to feel, let's say
Mm.
it like that.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
I wouldn't call it dense, but it's strong.
Powerful. And
Yeah.
and as you say, directly to the point. It's like they don't mess around. It's like,
I
okay, we're
know.
here, we're gonna do this. And I kind of love that because I think it's so beautiful that as humanity is stepping into its own like sovereignty, its own authority. And I was listening to an astrologer as was driving this morning actually, and she was talking about how we're stepping into the Aries energy of like the I am, right? The first
Mhm.
of the zodiac where we're just kind of, I think it has to do with the full moon. The full moon is in Aries, right? So we're stepping into this kind of I am. It's a fire sign. It's opening up the throat chakra. It's also opening up, the heart chakra. And so really kind of being firm in that. And it's so beautiful that the dragons are now showing up in our consciousness to reaffirm those beautiful principles of being ourselves, being strong.
Yeah, it's action. I think this time is
Action.
time for action, and in
Mm,
time for action when they finally see, okay, you are ready, and you are ready to work
mm.
with us together and do whatever we came to do, because they
Mhm.
also have their own mission.
Yeah.
they always had, and they've been around for this old time.
Yeah.
They were just waiting for us to be ready for action. And now
Hmm.
that we are right in that time that the I am and I can,
Yeah.
and everything. Like yesterday, I read something that was about when we say the sky is the limit, and she said there is no limit. The sky is not a limit, and
Hmm.
I that really vibrated, and I felt them like that really deeply.
Mm.
There is no limit
Right.
because there is the sky, but there is the universe.
Yeah.
And because we are feeling more this power of there is no limit,
Yeah.
then they're like, you are ready. Let's
Hmm.
do this.
Yes. I
this is how
know.
this is how it feels when finally they because like I told you, I have this actually Diana Cooper's oracle,
Mm.
the dragon oracle. Sometimes when I pull the cards, and there are moments where when I'm reading that, there's always asking for action. There is always this call for something. Develop this, explore that.
Mm.
You're safe, but here there is something we can do about
Yes.
this. And that's what it is a call for action.
Yeah.
And we responded. And
Yeah.
they're like, here we are. You're
Right.
safe to work with me.
Yeah, beautiful. I love that. And for anybody who's sticking around who thinks we're being fantastical and magical and maybe a little bit crazy, if you think about it this way, and I heard someone beautifully explain it this way. So the Chinese zodiac has 12 animals, right? It has the year of the horse and the snake and so on. And then it has one mythical creature, the dragon, right?
Just
So
one.
it's kind of like, do you really think that they would have 11 real animals and a 12th one that isn't real? And at the same time, they have a celebration each and every single year to celebrate the dragon, to ward off evil spirits, right? So, like the love of the dragon, the integrity, the creator power that the dragon has is now warding off evil spirits. And I was actually listening to Kaya Ra also this morning because I really wanted to kind of dive into this energy before I was talking to you. And she was talking about how the dragons are the creatures where their light is so strong that evil cannot touch them.
Yeah.
So like they burn away all the crap essentially, right? She said think about like magma, when magma is like coming out of a volcano and it's just destroying the earth around it and recreating a new ground and so on. That's the power of the dragons. The evil, the Luciferian, evil cannot touch them. So they just burn everything away. So she was talking about if when you step into your dragon, when you start to work with your dragon, you are safe because there's no evil cannot be close to you or touch you anymore. And I thought that was beautiful.
That's exactly how it feels.
Yeah.
And in this book I'm reading, there's also a part about embodying your dragon.
Ah,
So
yes.
there is I've been looking into it and about this embodiment of this energy. And if you
Mm,
think about it, every time that you ever felt like something was happening, any situation, and you felt like you were losing your strength, your mm, I don't know, your authority, let's say, in
mhm,
that moment,
mm,
every time you felt that burning in your belly, and then
mm,
suddenly you feel that energy rising. It's almost like the fire. If you
mhm,
imagine the fire
mhm,
before the dragon expels it,
mhm.
there is this burning hot magma, and then it goes out of his mouth, and it feels just like that. You
Right.
suddenly feel that strength, and then it burns in
Mhm,
a good way, and then
mhm,
you free yourself. So I think that has to do with the embodiment of that
yeah.
energy that has always been around us, and in moments where we probably are not yet able to see or to feel that energy, it's still there.
Mm,
So and the embodying of that energy is just that. It's embracing that there is more power for you to grab around the field, your magnetic field, than what you even know.
mm,
And even with the reaching, let's say, spiritually, with your magnetic field, what you think you can reach in your magnetic field, there is more. Your magnetic field doesn't stop where you think it stops. And that's where that energy lives,
Yeah.
because there is that energy in us too, the power
Mhm.
to create and the power to destroy. So
Right.
are we as different of an energy as the dragons if we think
Mhm.
about it as, oh, it's a fantastical creature? But think about humans.
Mhm.
Think about our history, everything we've destroyed and everything we've created.
Yeah.
Is that so different?
We're
Well, at
also
the same part,
fantastical
yeah,
creatures then, right?
aren't we? So in a different way, and
Yeah.
the only difference is that this energy that is the dragons uses that power for good,
Hmm.
and so we can do that too.
Yes.
They're in a way an example for us. We have that fire in us.
Hmm.
We can use it for good.
Yeah.
Just destroy bad things and create new beautiful things.
Hmm. I love that. And when you went like this, I was thinking about, kind of you're breathing you're breathing out the fire, like the
Yeah,
dragon breathes out the fire, but we breathe out, and we express ourselves through our words, but they can be fiery words, right? They can be words of creation, they can be words of destruction. And
exactly.
that's kind of how we're creating our reality by how we're expressing ourselves, what we are talking about, how we're saying it. And in those moments, we are creating our own reality, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So I really like that you said that because it's just so true. Yeah, it's just so expressive. Yeah.
yeah. Also, something beautiful I have been learning about the energy of dragons is the fact that they're since they are multidimensional, there
Mm-hmm.
is also not, we expect to see a dragon and we imagine it a certain way, right? Like
Yeah.
you look on the books or on the movies and everything and you see them of a certain way, but dragons don't always present to us that way.
Mm-hmm.
There is, I mean, we call them dragons because of their energy, but they can present to you, you can see them in your mind's eye as a small dragon or a big gigantic one. The
Mm-hmm.
wings can be a certain way, but maybe they are small, maybe they have feathers, maybe they don't have, maybe they are more batty wings. But they, and the same dragon, because you can feel the same energy, it can look different ways, the way you are feeling, because it exists in an etherical plane. So
Mm-hmm.
they exist where we feel, where our emotions are, where our where the essence of us, our higher selves, come from. So they exist in a plane where there is no physicality.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I love that diversity that they
Yeah.
have. They can be whatever they choose to be at the moment they choose to be, and I like to embody that energy and that feeling of, it doesn't matter how I look like,
Mm-hmm.
as long as my frequency is in the right place. That example really makes me happy that
Mm.
the same dragon can come to you in all the colors of the rainbow, and maybe tomorrow it will present golden, and maybe the other day it will be, I don't know, three different colors. But it's really, I really like that, the
Yeah.
diversity, and to show that it doesn't really matter.
Mm-hmm.
What matters is the energy, the
Yeah.
way you feel, where you carry your emotions, and the way you carry them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it becomes a little funny, but it's sort of like, so if you have a bad hair day, it doesn't really matter because you're gonna
Oh,
look different on every single day, and you show up with your energy anyway, and that is what matters. I love that comparison, because
yeah.
that's makes us feel also more human and okay for us to have different types of days. Like not every day has to be a certain way, right? It can be many different ways. And
Yeah.
so the question is then, what I think a lot of people are going to wonder is how do you actually work with the dragon energy, right? How do you kind of approach it? And you
Mm.
mentioned something beautiful, which was the cards that you had. I mean, I've sometimes for us, it's easier to start with something physical, right? So
Yeah.
like a deck of cards, or you had a beautiful crystal that
Yeah.
a dragon crystal, right?
Yeah, yeah. I have it with me. It's a
Yeah,
dragon skull.
there you go. It's
You can,
beautiful.
this one is in moss agate, but you can have it in a crystal, for example, that speaks more to your frequency.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's a really nice thing to meditate with, to
Mm-hmm.
have around. Some people like to make their little altars and
Yeah.
everything. It's,
Yeah.
yeah, something physical, something indeed that embodies that
Yeah.
image you
Yeah.
have.
I would say that it's very similar to when you first kind of venture into speaking to your spiritual team or your spiritual guides. It's very much the same energy of not really being sure of how to do it, right? How do you actually contact them? How do you channel them? How do you approach, anything that's in a different world than ours, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's similar to how you approach anything that's out of your visual spectra, right? We know that we can't see very much out of everything that is around us, like very
Yeah,
small percentages. So what you need to do is to close your eyes, right?
exactly.
And see it with your inner vision.
Yeah, it's not about what we can see with our 3D bodies, because
Hmm.
yeah, they are very beautiful and amazing, but there is a limit to the things we can visualize with these eyes.
Yes.
We have a mind's eye.
Yes,
So,
exactly.
and it's not only about the what we can see, but also about what we can feel, because you mentioned the spirit teams
Hmm.
and the guides, and not always we see them. Sometimes what we see, or I would say we feel with our mind's eye, is
Hmm.
what the frequency, the emotion, the feeling that they are passing through.
Hmm.
And most of the times that's where it begins. It comes as a sensation. Like,
Hmm.
I feel like this is the right thing. I feel this is the advice from this situation.
Hmm.
And you get this emotion and this feeling, and you feel that it comes from the outside, from that field. And it's not something that you just came up with right now.
Hmm.
Because where you are right now, this is, I'm in doubt, or I am feeling a certain way. And then it suddenly comes something so different. And then okay, this is intuitive. These are my guides talking to me. And yes, some people see, some people experience other things, but it's also a lot about feeling. So I would say that if people don't immediately see guides, or even dragons, or any
Hmm.
other um, high frequency creature, not to stop there,
Hmm.
because it's about, like we just spoke out, that energy that rises in you, and that at points you're like, where did it come from? Where did this fire came from? That I almost felt like my words were breathing fire, and they were burning through all the low energies that were trying to come and get me.
Hmm.
And that's it. That's the power that you are touching, you are reaching, you are in contact with those beings. In this case, a lot of people have dragons as guides too. They
Yes.
are there, so you feel that fiery energy. And how to distinguish it? That's it. That's that strength.
Yes.
Because
It
if you
is.
have one in your team, you will know that when it's the dragon energy, even if you never saw it, you
Mhm.
felt it only, it's a different kind of energy. Like we said, an
Yeah.
energy that implies action,
Hmm.
and that makes you want to do something.
Right, exactly. So I would suggest that in contacting any spirit guides or team members or the dragon team members, it's a matter of sitting down with your eyes closed, taking a few deep breaths so that you fully center yourself, and then use your intention to say that it is you want to be approached by your dragon guide, and then allow that imagination to happen, right? So a lot of times what we do is we go into a deep state of meditation and we say, "Oh, I want to contact my spirit guides," or "I'm going to channel this and so such and such." And as soon as it comes to our mind's eye, we start to see a dragon or we start to see a guide, our mind tells us you're making this up.
Yep.
So I had a great teacher who once told me, so you say yes to the mind. You tell the mind, yes, yes, we're just making this up. Okay, let's just go along with this now, right? So you agree with the mind, you say, yeah, we're making this up. It's, let's just keep on going with this. And then you continue to imagine, you continue to see, you continue to visualize this dragon that you want to contact. And then you're going to start to get information that you possibly kind of couldn't have made up, right? That's the at
Exactly.
least the feeling that I'm getting. And and then before you know it, you're gonna start to have this contact with your dragon. And then you can even ask, what's your name, right? And see if you get a response. You can ask other questions also. And then when you feel like you're ready and you're done and you sort of had your first encounter with your dragon, you say thank you and you slowly just get out of that meditative state.
Yeah, yeah, and like you said before, a good way of starting if you did that, and
Mm.
maybe you didn't have a conversation, but you did have a contact. You felt, you saw it, you
Mm-hmm.
imagined it,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have, for example, something physical like the cards, where you can say like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
now that we made contact, what is your message to me? And then you just shuffle a little bit and let your inner guidance choose something, and you see what it has to tell you, and whatever it is whatever you want to
Mm-hmm.
listen or need to listen at that point. Something
Yeah.
physical, it's a good way to start. But it's like you said, it's about going into a meditative state where you can raise your frequency high enough to reach that frequency where they are. And when you were mentioning the imagination in our mind telling us, oh, you're making this up, it came to me like your our mind is part of our system, our body system. Like it's a four body system. You have your mind, you have,
Mm.
and none being more important than the other. I think the problem here is when we we are so conditioned to only listen to our emotional no, I'm sorry, to only listen to our mind's body,
Yeah.
and then we ignore, sometimes it happens mostly, we ignore our physic body and our
Mm.
emotional body, and sometimes we're not even aware we have a spiritual body.
Right.
And that out of balance situation is what makes our mind always win. It wins. It says, oh, you're imagining this. But
Yes.
what is imagination if it's not your connection to something bigger, to something
Mm-hmm.
higher?
Mm-hmm.
I would put it this way for those who still have a problem with this concept. If you think about of an artist, I would say a painter
Yeah.
that doesn't paint landscapes or something that you can see, but it paints something that comes from its own imagination. It
Mm-hmm.
imagined it, right?
Yeah.
It was something that came to this artist at any moment. It just imagined something beautiful and it painted it, or it sculpted
Yeah.
whatever kind of art the person comes up with. It came from its imagination, so it came from somewhere. And I would say that's when you are channeling
Mm-hmm.
that higher energy, that's creativity, you're imagining something, and it has to come from somewhere.
It has to come from somewhere.
And this is the same place that when you are in this meditative state, you are going to the same place, to that sweet spot that the creator of that art is, and you are listening, channeling that, what they call creativity. In this moment, your creativity is allowing you to
Mm-hmm.
tap into somewhere different, and then something comes visual to you, for
Yeah.
example. So I think that is easier to understand the concept like this, because, and then of course our mind is conditioned to think, is this real? It's the function of the mind, and then you, if we want, we can say to the mind, yeah, it is real. Well, and let's go with it, and the mind will calm down and come in
Mm-hmm.
balance with your spirit, with your emotion, and with your physical, and then we get to that sweet spot
Mm-hmm.
that we want to reach in our meditations. That is that where anything is possible. Like Joe Dispenza says, you're nothing.
Yes.
Then there is nothing, there is
Exactly.
no time, there is
Yes.
space, and that's where you can
Yeah.
do anything from.
Yeah. What I find so beautiful too is all the different stories we have about dragons, right? We have all the Disney movies. We have so many old ancient stories. like I had mentioned to you, when you and I started talking about this, I went to a celebration at my school, kids' school, and they were slaying the dragon that day. It's
Mhm.
like an old tradition that they celebrate every single year, and they're supposed to catch the dragon. And I was watching this with completely different eyes this year because it was kind of like, oh, wait, what's happening? Like, we have the soldiers who are catching the dragon, and why are we doing that? And for me, that became like a metaphor of our fall from, higher dimensions, where we no longer understood that we were benefited by the dragon energy, that we were benefited by their power, their protection, their love, their just how they are so crucial to our creation. And instead, we started to try to destroy it ourselves
Yeah.
as humans, right? And I
Yeah.
found I was so fascinated by that I was just like, oh wow, that's so interesting. And this is coming, this celebration has been going on for very, very long time. This story is very, very old, and we have very old stories about dragons, right? And there's even old books where people have went to places and they've said, we've seen these creatures, and here's the drawing of it, and it looks like a dragon, right? So
Yeah.
it's like the dragon energy, the image of the dragon has been in our consciousness, our mythology, our storytelling for eons.
Yeah.
And I find that so amazingly powerful. And the fact that we now then think that they're not real, it's kind of funny, right?
I would say, I don't know if this is the truth, but
Mm,
it makes me think about, if you look into different cultures, you will also see dragons not only portrayed differently, but also the way, what they represent in every culture. Because in some other cultures, and you mentioned the Disney movies,
hmm
you think about Mulan, and in Mulan, the dragon is almost like a guide to Mulan, right?
hmm
Because it's a different culture, and in Western cultures we see the dragon as something that needs to be slain, something that needs to be. And it brings me to what you said, to this out of touch, and to the conforming to a different kind of thought,
hmm
this doctrine of thought, and everything that comes out of it, everything that is different or hard to explain, or even better, hard to control,
mm
that needs to be wiped out and see as something not good, or something we want to destruct. So that's why we pick something that is powerful and that gives people their identity, I would say more their power back. Because if you think about having such a powerful creature helping you,
Yeah.
uh, reaching your true potential,
hmm
it's almost like picking your potential and making it smaller. So if you don't have that,
hmm
then you are easier to influence and easier to uh, mold, let's say.
hmm mm
So listen to yourself. What are you talking about? And then
Yeah.
you start to question yourself, like, is this even real? But as you said, it's been in our consciousness for eons. And
Yes.
why is that?
Yes.
Why would someone at a given time in history would come up with a creature like
Yeah.
this, and with this and that powers, and that is sentient, and that does this and this and that? And why?
hmm
Why?
Exactly.
It's there because it is real,
hmm
and it brings us a certain kind of power. And certain cultures didn't want to be stripped of that. They still have a dragon as a symbol of power, of love, protection, health. And in their culture, is not a reason to be afraid. If a dragon visits you, you are blessed. In our culture, our more Western culture, a dragon is something scary.
Bring out the sword.
Yes, exactly. Why? We
Yeah.
because we want to strip people from something that gives them strength and that
Yeah.
helps them feel strong in their own power. Because
hmm
this is how I feel. If I tapped into this energy, I feel strong. I feel
Yeah.
self-assured.
Yes.
I'm thinking like, if I have a dragon with me, like you said in the beginning, there is nothing that can tear me down.
Nothing
I'm
that can stop me, right? I'm full
nothing.
authority, I'm power, I'm strength, I can speak out, I can do all these things. I'm not nervous. I know I'm humongous, right? And I can take flight at any point in time that I want. Like I am the I am energy of Aries, right? That I know who I am. And I fully believe what you're saying too. And again, referring back to Diana Cooper, she was talking about how between the ages of 2012, which, was the end of the Mayan calendar, and the
Yeah.
age of 2032, in that 20-year period, we're being flooded by dragon energy because they're here to help us in this transition into the golden age.
Yeah.
So helping us reclaiming our power, just like you said so beautifully, helping us remember this energy within us and next to us as our guides. And as if you imagine yourself as a dragon or with a dragon guide, like who's gonna mess with you?
Yeah. Like
Nobody's going to be able to mess with you. You're not afraid, right? You're
no,
fearless.
the energy that a dragon brings you is I was reading yesterday, it is this kind of energy, metaphorically speaking, it's like being on the edge of something and you have the option to jump, and maybe if you jump you will fly, but you don't know. But that
Wow.
energy, it brings you to that point of I'm going to jump anyway, and you jump, and then when you open your eyes you're flying.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why it's such an important time indeed
Mm.
to have this energy coming back and to finally remember,
Yeah.
because this is a remembrance. Like this is why it's been coming up so fiercely.
Yes.
Just remember, and it's not only remember us, remember you, remember
Yeah.
your true power.
Exactly.
Because if we think about Atlantis and the Golden
Mm-hmm.
Age and all those
Mm-hmm.
things in
Mm-hmm.
those moments, in those times,
Yeah.
those energies worked in tandem together.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And this is where we are trying to go back to, like, or maybe create a new one, new
Yeah.
and improved, let's say, because
Yes.
now we know better.
Now we know better, and now we're moving back into a completely different age, which is why you and me are here as well, right? We're here to help transition humanity into this new beautiful age. At least that's how I feel about a lot of my own mission. Interestingly enough, when you said you jump off and you don't know if you're gonna fly, I just pulled a card from like a beautiful deck I have a few minutes before this talk, because I sometimes do that to kind of give me guidance. And one of the lines just stood out to me so clearly, and it said, I am the one who pushes you off the cliff because I know you're gonna fly.
Isn't that amazing?
And I was just like, wow. And then now you said it also. So
Yeah,
there's this energy of knowing that you have all this power, knowing that you have all this capability. And this energy is now here to push you.
forward.
Maybe you're even kicking and screaming, but it's pushing you because it knows that you can fly. It
Yeah,
knows that you have all these powers. It knows that you have the capability of transitioning and surviving these times with like your full power intact.
yeah,
That's
it's
very much the energy that I'm getting when I'm thinking about it. And I'll just mention one more thing because I thought this was so funny. As I'm flipping through my like phone to check out, I was listening to different things. I see this because I have a bunch of tabs open. So I have one of my favorite bands is Imagine Dragons.
I love them too.
And I listen to the song all the time, like it's the whatever it takes song.
Yeah, I
And the
know that.
song is so powerful because it's like it's saying that, I can pretty much do anything, right? I'm here
Yeah,
to experience this. I'm here to run. I'm here to be free. I'm here to do all these things, right?
yeah,
And I sometimes I just sing really loudly in my car this song because it empowers me, right? And so I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh my Lord, they're called Imagine Dragons,
yes. Yes, I love them. It's so funny that you mentioned, because
right?
they always empowered me. There's also that song Thunder, and when you
Mm-hmm.
said whatever it takes, there's also the other one when sometimes I need that boost like you have the power and
Yes.
imagine dragons and then thunder. And you
Yeah.
feel it, and then there's the bum bum, and I'm like, oh, suddenly I feel that energy coming up,
Yes.
and I'm like, yeah, and
Yeah.
it's almost like the dragon rising in you,
Mhm.
and you
Yeah.
open your wings, and you just close your eyes and you throw yourself onto the situation, and then you open them and you're flying.
Yeah. And
Oh,
you
that's so
know,
beautiful.
their lyrics are, if you really pay attention to their lyrics, or if you like read them, you know, if you open up a web page and actually read their lyrics, they're very spiritual.
Yes, they
Mm.
are. It's
So
one of the
it's,
things that really attract me to them,
yes.
because I am crazy for music, and it
Hmm.
always raises my vibration, but
Hmm.
only if there is a message in it.
Yeah.
And they are one of my favorite bands also because
Yes.
of that.
So I wanted to bring that up today because I thought there's no coincidences in this world, and it was just so beautiful that I was shown that today,
Yeah,
you know, this morning as we were about to have this talk. So I just find it gorgeous. And even better that you like them also.
yeah. This is the coincidences. They're just magical. So
Yeah,
because there
yeah.
are no coincidences, everything
No,
is inspired in the energy that we throw out there,
exactly.
and whatever it is we were working on. And I feel more than ever that it's almost impossible to deny
Hmm.
whatever is that's happening. And
Yes.
I'm glad that it is almost impossible, because I feel freer,
Mm.
because it's like, I was listening to your video about your spiritual awakening and your
Hmm.
journey,
Hmm.
and that moment that I think I also experienced, when you feel like you're so different, and you try to fit in, but you don't,
Yeah.
because there is always that part of you that is telling you like, oh, but there is more, there is this higher thing that you should be doing, or that you want, and you long for being doing.
Yeah.
And right now, it's the time where, when you feel it, you immediately get the confirmation that this is it.
Yes.
And it's almost impossible not to see. Even I see that even with my partner, for example, when sometimes he says things, and he is also very intuitive, but he's not as into the spiritual and the
Mm-hmm.
metaphysical as I am. But sometimes when he says something, and then things happen, and I said, "Do you see how beautiful it is? The power that you have to create and manifestate whatever you just said."
Yeah.
And he looks at me, and he doesn't say anything. He just smiles, because he knows it. And he says to it's almost like I see in his eyes, is like, it's impossible for me to say that this is not it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because this is exactly what
Because
is
you get
happening.
that feeling, yeah. I think
Yeah,
that's where we're at. We're sort of either we are on that cliff, you know, ready to jump,
yeah,
or we already jumped, or somebody pushed us.
yeah,
And that's where we are now. It's like it's once you're flying, it's not like you're gonna slowly backtrack and go come back on that hill,
yeah,
right? You're
yeah,
you're now flying. So I fully appreciate what you're saying that once you've sort of taken that step and once you've released yourself from that kind of grounding energy of, you know, always having to do what everyone else is doing, but actually fully releasing yourself from that, it's so liberating and you feel so in tune with everything because you're finally allowing that energy to move through you.
yeah,
So I find that extremely beautiful.
yeah. Also, the fact that right now there is also a very strong calling to also ground
Mm,
people. I have this feeling that for a while
mm,
we had a lot of anxiety, a lot of what's happening, and then suddenly everybody started talking about, hey, what if we started grounding? This is the calling,
yeah.
the calling of the earth. But
Mhm.
I would say, I would go even further to say this is also the calling of this dragon energy, because they are very connected and closely working with earth. with Mother Earth, with this
Mhm.
planet we inhabit.
Yes.
And because there is the ley lines, that is something that
Mhm.
they lay down and that they still work on. And
Mhm.
if you connect yourself to the planet, you ground yourself, even
Mm.
walking in nature, and you can feel the strength.
Yeah.
And this calling to ground is at the same time our ability to fly, because you will always have a safe place to be
Mhm.
anchored to. And when
Mhm.
I say anchored, I don't say like you're stuck here. You are anchored to an energy that is keeping you healthy.
Yeah.
And at the same time, you are allowed to. That's why we now have this ability to just jump out of the cliff.
Mhm.
Because no matter what happens, you will be protected and you will be safe.
Mhm.
So there is no other way than flying.
Yeah.
Because if you don't fly with wings, you will fly with the energy that comes from the earth and it will keep you up.
Mhm.
And this is also why a lot of us have been feeling like we need to ground our energies. And that's also a beautiful way to connect to the dragons. It's just as simple as connecting yourself with the spirit of the earth. And if you do that, you will feel immediately that your energy connects to the art of the earth, and immediately you will also feel the energy coming from the universe into you. And that is also a way to bring yourself into a balanced state where it makes it easier for you to connect with this dragon energy. Just came to me.
Yeah, no, beautiful. And also what came to me as you were talking is there's the the four different elements that what was I gonna say? Oh, that the dragons are, earth and fire and wind and so it's sort of it has all those different potentials as well, right? Not just grounding, but all the different energies of this earth that it's connected to. So it's very beautiful to figure out different ways of how to connect to this because if we don't actually connect with our bodies to this energy, everything just becomes in our mind, right? We think
Yeah,
about it, we look at pictures, we visualize it, but it's connecting to that energy through our very own bodies that makes the difference, right? That's how we know something is real when we experience it for ourselves. So
exactly.
that's what I would recommend to everyone, actually experiencing it for yourself so that you're not listening to people who are talking about it and telling you that this is true. You're actually through your physical body experiencing it.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
And it is also the path to walk. If you want to experience anything, you have to have first balance in your own body, and you have to be able to connect your spirit, your mind, your body, and your emotions together. Everything needs to be in the same level. You shouldn't expect to have your mind speaking louder or your emotions speaking louder than the rest of you. And it's important indeed to have everything working at the same time to form that unity, and then try to connect, because it's like you said, or else everything is going to feel a little bit, you won't be sure of
Yeah,
what you are seeing. If your emotional body is not there, you won't have this feeling. And
that's
if your
right.
physical body doesn't have the feeling, the way to experience that emotion,
Mm.
then it's only in your mind. So
Mm.
where were you? What were you doing? So it's
Yeah.
it's it's a question of balance.
Mm-hmm.
It's very important. It just stays the same. And for everything, balance is the key.
Yeah, 100%. I just had an idea, Ligia. Do you have your deck of cards next to you or with you?
I have it in the other room, but I
Yeah,
can get it.
okay. So maybe a little bit too far away because my idea was to pull a card and to kind of tune into that energy that we're pulling. But I think instead of that, maybe when you think about the energy of the dragon right at this very moment, what is it that you're feeling wants to come through and be expressed in this very now moment?
Mm. I think if I obviously it's a little bit hard to separate myself at
Yeah.
this point from the collective, but well, I'm a part of it. So
Mm.
if I always think about the message being, whatever you do, you are protected, because a lot of us are experiencing beautiful things, but with that, because it's so amazing sometimes, it's
Mhm.
scary
Yeah.
because it's out of what we are used to. And a lot of the times I feel that this dragon energy is telling us, don't be scared, I'm here, you are protected, whatever you are doing, you are protected, you are strong, and even if you're not, I will be here for you.
Mhm.
That's the energy. That's, if I tap into that energy, I always feel the strength of the protection and the softness of the love
Mhm.
of the, hey, let's keep going,
Yeah.
that calling for service,
Yeah.
and believe in whatever you are seeing, because
Hmm.
it is true.
Yeah.
And so when we all start to speak up, to use our voices, and to actually talk about these things that we believe to be true and that we experience and that we see for ourselves, that's when that little fear factor comes. Like, oh, how is this going to be received? And that's when I feel the energy of the dragon saying, it is going to be okay. You are protected and you are safe.
Mhm.
So just keep going, do
Yeah.
it.
Beautiful. Also, what came up for me as I was asking you the question is I kind of saw this blue aquamarine type of dragon, and it had a very ethereal kind of fluid feeling. And so it was calling on my imagination and my creativity also. And I think that fits beautiful with your message, use your imagination, use your creativity, use your malleability, how you have the ability to change each and every single day as you are fully protected by this container of the dragon.
Yeah. Oh, that's so beautiful.
Mm. So that I think those messages so beautifully came together. But I also think, Ligia, we're probably going to be talking about this many more times. I feel like this is just the beginning of our
Yeah.
conversation. But at this point in time, I don't know about you, but I kind of feel like this is a beautiful point to just let this sink in with all the viewers and let them know that we're going to come back with more messages regarding the dragons in terms of how to communicate with them, how to activate it within you, and so on and so forth.
Yeah. It was a nice introduction.
That's what I'm thinking. It's a
Yeah.
good introduction, and it's good to kind of get a feel for it, just get a feel for that energy, and then further down the road, when we feel the energies are ready, we will continue to have this discussion with
Yeah.
different topics. Yeah,
I really hope it sparks curiosity
yeah.
to at least explore this theme, and like, if it was true, what
Mm-hmm.
would it look like?
Mm-hmm.
Because curiosity is always a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
And
And truly feel into it, right? Really,
yeah,
truly for yourself, feel into it.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
true for you.
yeah. That's a beautiful point to leave it,
Mm-hmm.
to leave that little spark,
Yeah.
and leave people with the uh, leave people imagining dragons.
Yeah. Yes. That's right. Thank you so much for today, Ligia.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See.